friends, and welcome to Your Day Extra. I am your host, Alex King, joined by our meteorologist, Nick Maruziak, and our morning producer, Natalie Cooper.
Hello.
Thanks for joining me today, you guys. We are your Dayton-based podcast breaking down local stories and national headlines. So let's dive right in. We are going to start with you, Nick.
Yeah, so first of all, thank you for having me on podcast. Second of all, I love it because I get to discuss all the weird stuff that I find fascinating. So we ran the story, 2 days ago, yesterday, about a bull in the front right seat. Now, that's not the only animal-related vehicular shenanigans that have happened. In Canada, there was a truck that was carrying 5 million bees. Somehow, the bees toppled over, and they basically had to shut down a road in a neighborhood, telling people stay inside. Now, one thing you think of is 5 million bees, they're gone, right? No, don't forget, the bees will hang out near the queen. So they got the queen back. They got most of the bees, left a couple crates just for the stragglers, and everything is all back to normal. But kind of crazy to think about animals in cars. I know that, if there's ever a cow or something that typically gets free, it's like, all right, well, guess you're not going to you're not going to become hamburger. But it is kind of like, it is kind of funny to think about how we have to transport animals sometimes. And, the weird stuff you see on the roads as well.
I just wonder how loud 5 million bees buzzing angrily would get.
Yeah.
Because you can hear one from some distance away, but 5 million, I can't even picture 5 million bees in my head right now.
Honey, are you running the microwave on 30 minutes?
A billion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would not want to be anywhere near that situation.
Yeah, that sounds horrible.
Imagine you step outside and you go, I'm going to have to call into work today. Why? Bees.
Well, and think about how many people have bee allergies. Like, my mom was super allergic to bees. That would have been a death sentence and a half.
Yeah, basically it's okay. You have to stay inside. There's no other option. Close all your windows, close everything you can. Make sure there's zero ways they could get in. And call an exterminator, I guess.
Yeah.
Or a beekeeper.
What do you think your guys' reaction would be if you were just driving nearby this when it happened? You're just witnessing everything happen.
Immediately turning around. I don't care if it's an illegal U-turn. I'm making it.
Oh,
We're
so
going.
you do that. I mean, if I'm behind it, I'm like, well, this is Final Destination 18.
Yeah.
This remake got weird. But if it's I'm, next to it, I'm like, you all right, dude? All right. And just speed by. Yep. See ya.
I honestly don't know if my fight or flight would kick in. I don't know which one would kick in.
Well, it's because there's not protocol for this. Protocol for 5 million bees. No one knows what to do.
Now, what's the protocol if you see a cow in a front right seat? Now, we ran that story.
We did. It was a bull.
Okay, it wasn't just
ginormous.
a cow that you
and
milk.
all.
The horns were half of it.
Cut out the top part of his car to
technically,
fit this
I believe it was a steer because it was. I forget the rules of if it's intact or not, but it was a steer. I was reading that. But either way, it had the giant horns. Could you imagine that thing moves the wrong way and just pokes you while you're driving?
Yeah, I can't believe honestly, in the footage that we saw of this, and this was out of Nebraska, I believe, of this steer in Nebraska, he had fitted his car specially to have it, but it didn't actually look like it was in any distress.
Yeah,
and,
he looked like he was chilling. He was enjoying the drive.
My dogs didn't even like car rides growing up, and would throw a fit. And this bull or this steer was just just chilling.
Yeah, and
this is regular.
It's so interesting because it was a small car. Yeah. So how does this giant steer not I'm surprised the car wasn't dragging.
Yeah, I was expecting to see sparks as it was hitting the
ground. The guy goes, "Oh yeah, it's a lifted truck. Sure, it looks like a low rider. Oh, just take the steer out." And all of a sudden it's
yeah, this car was, I don't know what the exact car was, but it was literally a 4-door Honda.
Yeah, and I know the man did get pulled over and he got some traffic violations, but I don't know. I just can't even imagine the process of getting that thing in there. And
well, I'm so shocked it wasn't street legal.
Yeah.
Shocked.
The guy, and my favorite is, there was video of this guy just that's my bull. this, you know,
Taking
that's
for a
my
drive.
That's what
Yeah.
we're doing. We're
like,
just
where
like,
was he going with this book?
Yeah, I don't know if he clarified that or not.
I think
but
he was going to some sort of a fair or
Just a
something.
joyride.
You know, I think he was going to some sort of a fair to like show it off or something, and then it was like, nope, got to go back home. All right, and my favorite
so
would have been
funny.
like, it's probably just easier for me to go to the fair, you know,
Yeah.
that, right? Like, just continue the journey, borrow someone's trailer, and then I could figure it out. Like, no big deal. No, this guy had to go back home with basically a bull on parade.
I'm sure those officers that pulled him over though went home and were like, "You'll never believe the day I
yeah,
had
that definitely
today."
makes an interesting day. Definitely.
He's
Although,
like, it was BS. No, literally, it was BS in the back seat.
oh yeah, that
Okay.
was interesting. All right, let's moving on. On that note, Natalie, there was a big announcement this week.
There was a big announcement, and all Swifties out there are going to be super excited. She's taken her Eras tour from stage to screen. She's releasing a concert film of her concert in AMC theaters across the U.S., Canada, and Mexico. And that starts on October 13th. Tickets are already on sale, but you're already still going to have to wait in a digital queue. I mean, I got on just to check it out a few minutes after she had made the announcement because, you know, we work in news, we hear things pretty fast. And there was already a queue when she announced it. People that are into Taylor Swift are no stranger to digital queues. I mean, Ticketmaster, when that whole fiasco
yeah.
happened, when people were trying to buy tickets to the real tour, the whole site crashed. Congress did an investigation.
Yeah.
Like, big deal. So this is probably a much easier way to go see Taylor Swift, especially you don't have to travel. But yeah, Swift says the tour has been one of the most meaningful experiences of her life. And she says if you're going to see the movie, wear friendship bracelets, wear Eras themed tour like merch and all of that, and sing and dance your way through the film. So
Yeah.
that sounds kind of fun.
AMC staff are going to love that, having a bunch of people dancing around
Oh
in their
God,
theaters.
I'm already
Imagine
picturing.
the guy with the flashlight that always comes in. He's like, excuse me. It is literally going to be a club atmosphere.
Yeah, I feel like
yeah.
they're just going to have to let it happen.
I feel like the movies like that are going on in the adjacent rooms are gonna have horrible experiences.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
You're
they
going to
can't-
see The Nun,
They
and then
can't
there's a
almost. They
concert.
almost can't really complain because they've already had such a great year, and this is going to just make it even better for theaters.
Oh, for AMC?
For AMC, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Could you imagine watching Oppenheimer and all of a sudden you're like,
You're a Swiftie fan
What?
screaming next
yeah,
door.
shake it off. It's like shake it off, shake it off. I'm trying to watch my movie.
Oh no.
Yeah.
There's no way you could quiet a mob of angry Swifties.
Yeah, but here's the thing: like Taylor Swift has made such an impact on the economy, and this is just
yeah.
another way that she's going to be helping out local theaters and stuff. So that's like, it's just so cool to see how dedicated her fans are and what they're doing for communities.
It's incredible to see. Like, most people that I know have either heard of Taylor Swift or like Taylor Swift, or are just like lukewarm. Nobody I know really hates Taylor Swift. But
that's
it's
fair.
amazing to see how many people will come out in droves to see her concerts. I mean, I read an article one time that was like, is Taylor Swift turning around the U.S. economy on her own?
$2 billion.
That's
I think it was
something like that.
Yeah, I think it
Yeah.
was like $2 billion. And you know, okay, like you said, movie theaters. You know, they had the Barbenheimer, and then with the Hollywood strike, who knows how long this could go? And maybe if you're Taylor Swift, you go, you know what? Just leave it there. Like, it'll be the middle of December. The strike's on its like 200th day, and they'll be like, "Yep." And Taylor Swift's movie is still #1.
Yep. Yeah, and our production assistant / future producer, Allie, she is a big Taylor Swift fan. So she hopped on AMC's website as soon as it was available, and she said she was having to wait a bit to get tickets. But I know she said that she plans on going to see it at least twice. So that's
crazy.
That seems
Good for
about
her
right.
though.
there's not one movie I
mean-
want to go see in the theater twice.
This is a person we're talking about that has multiple Taylor Swift tattoos.
She's obsessed. Yes,
Like, obsessed.
She's top
Like-
tier level fan.
Oh yeah. I remember so I was on vacation when Taylor Swift came to Cincinnati, and my sister-in-law was super bummed that we couldn't go see her. And I just remember the fiasco of trying to get Europe tour tickets. So it was like we had to multiple people in the family had to enter to get a chance to get an email back to tell us that we could then get a chance to get in the queue to get tickets. I mean, it was just a multi-step process that would continually weed people out because it was just that many people wanted it.
Right. Yeah.
And like that's insane to me.
There's not one art. I'm not like a fangirl. I'm not a big fangirl to any artist. So it's so just interesting to me to see people so obsessed with other artists and whatnot. Like I definitely enjoy certain artists, but I just don't think I'm not the one to fan. Well, I guess I also have never. I'm not a big concert person in general.
Oh,
so,
really?
Yeah.
I love live music. I just don't go to enough of it.
Yeah.
But I almost wish I could get to fangirl levels of excitement because, like, truly, Allie has never seemed happier than when Taylor Swift announced this tour, than this movie. Like, she just seems like it genuinely brings her so much joy. And I love that for her. And I wish something did that for me.
Seriously, every time we do a Taylor Swift story, I just see her on the prompter just smiling so big.
I know.
Well, that's because it's usually, hey, Allie, what do you think of this?
Sometimes I'll see her with an earbud in, and I know she's listening to Taylor Swift.
Yeah, but it's so great to see Taylor Swift. We've seen her journey from when she was just a little young country star to growing into what she is now, seeing how much her fan
powerhouse.
Yeah, so that's going to transition into our next story because some actors/actresses have definitely not had a smooth journey. So actually a former Disney actor known for Hannah Montana was arrested in Texas on Saturday. Mitchell Musso was arrested on charges of public intoxication and theft. And he was taken into custody after someone reported a disturbance at a hotel. And police said the 32-year-old actor appeared intoxicated and allegedly entered the hotel and took a bag of chips without paying. And when he was asked to pay, he reportedly became verbally abusive and then left. And he was obviously arrested and spent one night in jail before being released on a $1,000 bond, which, I mean, that's not too bad. But, and then additional charges included expired registration, failure to display a driver's license, and violating a promise to appear. So
he's
just a hot mess. The mugshot, he looks miserable. I don't know what's going on with this man. I think he's been in trouble in the past as well. But I just thought this would be a good topic for in terms of, some of our favorite child actors and actresses have just, some of them are great or doing fine, stayed out of trouble. Others, not so much. I mean, even Hannah Montana herself, Miley Cyrus, she went through a phase where she was going through it. So
there's actually a podcast that was started by Allison Stoner, who you'd probably recognize Allison from Cheaper by the Dozen, played one of the daughters in the family, did some stints on Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, the Missy Elliott video, she was the kid dancing. And Allison has said that being a child star caused so much distress, just the having to put it on. And at one point they were like, I was auditioning for the role of an abused child, and then I had to turn it around and go do a Disney audition, and just like the mental whiplash that at like 6 years old you have to go through if you want to be a famous child star in Hollywood. And a lot of times at the behest of their parents, it's not even the child's decision.
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure on
and then
they
become the breadwinner of their family. I know Jeanette McCurdy from Sam and Cat and iCarly has said that it was like one of the worst things. It sparked her eating disorder. Like she was constantly trying to weigh less so that she could play younger and extend her career even further because she was the breadwinner for her family. Like they are under a crazy amount of pressure.
Yeah.
I do not envy that.
And you think about it, I'm not sure, you've seen the Mighty Duck movies before.
Goldberg. Long ago, yeah.
Yeah, Goldberg famously, he got addicted to drugs, got on meth, and the mugshots got sadder and sadder. And at one point, basically, he said, I hit rock bottom. Went to rehab. He's turned his life around. There was a maybe an orthodontist who fit him with teeth because his had completely rotted out.
Yeah.
And you know what? And here's the thing is, and I think the big takeaway of this is, just because you see them on air doesn't mean their lives are great. And, for some of these people, they hit rock bottom and they rebound.
Yeah.
And others just, they have to do something else. Amanda Bynes is, after her. Lindsay Lohan went through it, and these are stars of my generation who have never quite made it anywhere. I mean, household names have now basically been, oh yeah, I remember that person.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to them? Or you hear the
Yeah.
news story and you're like, oh no, please don't tell me this is, the one
Yeah.
where they're gone.
And it's always nice to see when they do kind of turn things around. Lindsay Lohan, she seems to be doing great now.
Yeah, she's like sober,
Yeah.
pregnant.
Yeah. Amanda Bynes, not so much. I don't think she's really much gone anywhere.
She's
She's
I believe,
still stuck in a rut.
college. She's been college, but she just, I think she's went under the conservatory. It's all complicated.
Every time she, I think, seems to be getting better, she kind of goes
there's
back.
something happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an addiction, a disease,
It
and like
is.
just a mental state to be
Yeah,
in.
and not even just these really young child actors. I mean, even the guy from Friends, Chandler. He's just become more open about how he has dealt with addiction and just a lot of mental health issues. And I mean, obviously, that was their entire world for so long. And
Yeah, you become known for one thing, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden, when you're not that thing anymore, people turn on you.
oh, absolutely.
And it's so sad to see. I know the guy that played Joffrey in Game of Thrones. He played such a convincing bad guy that he said he was getting assaulted by people on the street that would tell him that they hated
Oh,
him because
yeah,
of the
he was the
character he
worst.
played. And it's just people have these parasocial relationships with these people
Yeah.
that they see on screen, and they see them smiling and say, "Oh, she's such a happy person." Like that person's going through an
Yeah.
addiction, or "Oh, that guy sucks." And it's like, no, he's playing a character.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you have to remember they're real people with real issues, and
Yeah.
they're not their character.
Hi, so
Yeah.
are we, by the way.
They're
No, I'm just kidding.
entertainers. They get paid to pretend, you know?
Yeah.
We are not. I can't do that. Like I'm Nick Maruzzi. I'm the same in person, on air, and
Can
at my home.
confirm.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
It's like his jokes never get better. This is weird.
Thank God I'm behind the scenes, except for now. But, you know.
Yep, where you get to see your beautiful face on our podcast every so often.
Alex, stop. I'm blushing.
All right, we will move on to Nick's next story.
What was my next story?
Beer
again?
goggles.
Oh my gosh! So this story is.
You don't remember?
No, of course not.
Where
That's
are
why.
your notes, sir?
Oops. So beer goggles. This is a great story. So it was a study, and here's how they did it. This person grabbed a bunch of their college-age friends, gave them either cranberry or cranberry vodkas, and got half of them drunk and the other half sober. And then they flipped the next day. They were given a bunch of photos, and they had to rate the people by attractiveness. Now, of course, if you've known the colloquial, the idea of beer goggles is someone who's not attractive suddenly becomes attractive when you're drinking. Okay? What they found didn't change. What they did find, though, was that the people they rated the highest changed in terms of who they would talk to. So what was happening is they were going to talk to the more attractive people and get liquid courage, but it didn't mean that they were like, oh yeah, this person is hotter now. Did not change that.
I want to call shenanigans on this because I
Are you saying that you
let's-
have evidence to the? Hey,
no comment. No comment. Just get me come back.
I mean, that's definitely interesting. I mean, this is probably the worst story you could talk to two married women, but it's fine. It's
Hey,
fine.
that's
We'll
what I
go with
do
it.
here.
We'll go with
We
it.
all had our
like
glory days.
look. Like I said, I'm the same on air and off person. This is a story that I saw. I was like, that's a podcast
Yeah,
story.
that is, and this would have been a perfect Nathan story, but he's just chilling on the sidelines now. Just
Hi,
enjoy.
Nathan.
He's like, nah, I can avoid talking about this.
He's
The,
laughing at my follies over here.
No,
That's
that is
Yeah.
that is funny. I do think. I mean, being drunk, I feel like definitely gives people a different perception.
The liquid courage aspect is
Yes.
very real.
Oh yeah,
But also, like,
my confrontational side.
if you're
definitely
that
comes out.
drunk, you can't even see straight. You're telling me everybody looks the same? I'm calling shenanigans.
So to be fair, it was 0.08, so legal limit drunk, not double the legal limit.
Show me a plastered college girl and then tell me that her perception of who is and isn't attractive.
Are you
is
speaking
not
from
the same.
experience here?
No comment.
No, and I get what they're talking about though. Is you think of those mind altering drugs and things, but it was interesting. I have a feeling that it's a lot more complicated than just alcohol. It's also where
Oh,
you
yeah.
are.
I mean, it's
what's around
chemistry.
you. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
also what's around you too. If you're at a place where there are a lot more people or less people, you probably think differently than if you're in a place with if you're at Fashion Week and with all the models, you're going to think, okay, that you're going to rate yourself lower or rate other people lower who
Yeah.
may be really hot, really attractive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
your surroundings definitely matter.
on the other hand, if you're at, the middle of Cleveland Browns Stadium, suddenly, everybody's looking pretty good.
Yeah. No, this is actually funny
Why the
because
Browns?
Nathan
this is
does
funny
the
though
jab at him.
because so a lot of my like girly shows Keith does not like. My husband Keith does not like, and I'll be like, oh, this main guy is so attractive, and he's like, you only think that because he's surrounded by a bunch of ugly people.
Oh,
And
that's
he's
the
not
thing.
actually that attractive, but because of the other actors not being as attractive, it makes him seem so much more
That's the
attractive.
thing. I think there was a movie about that called The Duff, The Dumb Ugly
Oh,
Fat
yeah.
Friends.
Yes.
I never watched it.
I did
but
watch
it's
it.
like
Yes.
That was
somebody
actually a
that you
good
keep
one.
around to make yourself feel better.
Yes.
Which is like a horrible thing to do. Don't do that to people.
The whole point of the show is you are not actually a duff. You're an amazing person regardless of what you look like.
I do take, money in check form if just anybody who needs a duff. Hey, I gotta hustle over
Stop.
here, man. I gotta hustle. Come on.
But it's definitely an interesting concept, and of course, drinking definitely.
Yeah.
plays a
Also,
big
like
role.
how like I know we talked a little bit about like if you're at the Met Gala or if you're anywhere else, but like
Yeah.
how like comfortable you feel with the people around you too, like in the middle of a packed club versus like at a house party or something.
Oh, yeah.
Or versus like a small friend only thing.
Yep.
Also
for sure.
very different vibes just because of
Exactly.
like the comfort level you start at with.
Yeah. And it's so funny because like it's so interesting seeing different people's opinions and like in terms of celebrities because like so many people are obsessed with Justin Bieber and I feel like he's literally an average Joe Schmo.
That's me with Channing Tatum.
That's another
I do
great
not
one.
find it-
Like
he's
you
a-
could find any of those kind of
Yeah.
freaking boys walking around on the street. Channing Tatum, I guess, is more man
Boys.
than Justin Bieber, but
But then there are some oddballs that you can be attracted to and you're like,
That's
I don't
true.
know why.
yeah, that's so true.
It's like why do I suddenly think that Steve Buscemi in a right light looks okay?
No, you stop. There is this girl that I went to school with who said that he was like her number one celebrity crush of all time was Steve Buscemi. And this was senior year of high school. I was like, you are 18. Like, pick anyone else. And she was like, no,
so-
it's Steve Buscemi. Which he's apparently a really
Interesting.
awesome guy. And like, I respect that.
what would
but,
you
like,
be your weird celebrity crush?
Oh gosh. I feel like Adam Driver is up there. There like the light hits him in a certain way and I'm like, ooh, and then all of a sudden it's like, no.
That's so funny. Oh my gosh. What about you, Nick?
I really don't have one. I'll be honest with you, I can't think of any.
Just like all the
You
hot
can't think
ones.
of a celebrity.
All the hot chicks.
I mean, I don't know. Like, what do you want me to say? Like, Steve
That's so
Buscemi hit a
funny.
guy up. I mean, what do you got?
I think mine would be, and which I think is not that weird, but Cillian, I don't know his last name.
Murphy?
Yes. Is that his last name? Yes.
Yeah.
I think he is so hot, but I don't think like on an average day I would think he's attractive.
But
But
I-
in every
he's-
single
yeah.
show or movie he's in, I'm like, man, that guy is.
For my husband, it's Chloe Grace Moretz.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
So I don't watch
And
it.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead, who I think was
Oh,
Ramona
yeah.
Flowers.
Okay, yeah.
I ju- I-
Interesting.
I think the problem is I don't watch enough TV or shows
Yeah.
to be like, oh yeah, that person. So-
Yeah.
Oh, actually, you know what?
All
Sarah Jessica Parker. That's mine.
Really?
she's
I mean,
pretty. she's pretty.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on.
Okay. This is about AI. I know I sometimes come on here and talk about AI, but we're going to talk about it again. A newspaper chain that has outlets throughout the country, including here in Ohio, has paused their experiments with AI. They were using it to write high school sports dispatches about a match up here north of Columbus, and the headline was "The Worthington Christian winning team mascot defeated the Westerville North losing team mascot 2-1." And all of their articles, I guess, were just like that. They got multiple reports from different outlets across the country saying their articles were repetitive and just sounded like they were written by the computer that doesn't understand sports.
Oh no.
So they have paused all of their experiments, but they do say, we are stopping this. All of our criticisms against this were valid, but AI is going to be a part of the newsrooms in the future.
For sure.
And another article on CNN where this was posted said, AI tools tend to make things up a lot, and analysts call it the tendency to do that hallucinations or confabulations. A lot of people on social media are calling it a liar.
That's fair.
But yeah, I do think it's kind of becoming this weird inevitability, but it's all the kinks are definitely not worked out yet.
Yeah, I think there's got to be a way of there's still got to be someone, a real person, that goes through and actually checks what AI wrote.
Yeah, at least you need an editor or something.
So that's interesting.
Oh, really? You need an editor? Like, I don't think I've ever seen an editor in a newsroom before, just because it's like,
well,
that was like
producer.
Well,
it's basically an editor.
Me.
Well,
I edit a lot of things.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about like a copyright editor, meaning, in other words, it goes from a producer to a person whose job is just to sit there and to go over it, doesn't actually write, doesn't actually do anything, but just checks copy. And the thing is this, it's one of those that with AI, you're never going to have the same kind of, you're always going to go to the computerized version. You're not going to know the ins and outs. Sports can be very colloquial. There are terms that are used that are never used. Or if they are used, they have to be a specific case where they work or they don't. You know?
Yeah, that is when I hear Matt Digby do sports, or even in the mornings, our other morning producer, Alex, is really good with sports, also announces sports for a living outside of this. He will sometimes write scripts that I will read, and I'll be like, I don't know how somebody that doesn't know sports can read that.
AKA me, because every time I get stuck reading the sports stories. Nathan is so good at reading the sports stories, and then I get stuck reading something at some point.
Anchor.
Yeah, and he's so good at it, and I'm like, team,
Nathan's really good at reading them, and Alex is really good at writing them. And if he were the one saying it with like the right inflection, because you're right, Nick, it's very colloquial and it's very like. There are a lot of like, I don't want to say puns, but like plays on words.
Yeah.
And you have to be familiar with the rules for things to make sense. And to me, it's all Greek. It just goes over my
Exactly.
head.
Because if I went, the player threw an Our Father, you'd be like, all right, that sounds good enough, and not know that it's, what a Hail Mary
heard of
is.
that.
Hail Mary?
Yes.
Oh. And Our Father?
Yeah, see, if I said he threw an Our Father, you wouldn't be like, what?
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. Those are the kinds of things that are...
The first time I heard the phrase triple-double, I thought it was a lie.
Yeah.
I thought that was a joke.
Yeah. And so back to
I know. It's literally like
back to AI. I do feel like it is definitely going to become a big part of writing in general. And I mean, even us, like we've avoided using it at this point here at our station, but on occasion we'll use it to help us come up with like a poll question. We do daily poll questions and everything like that. So I think it'll be useful.
But we still filter them out.
Exactly.
We like ask for suggestions.
We still make it our own. Exactly. Just to help give ideas more than anything.
I appreciate the little human touch, because AI, I mean, it's just like an algorithm based on inputs it's received from people, which means it's not quite as personal, but it is coming from like that collective knowledge.
It's trying to imitate a person.
Yeah, exactly. People are going to try to use it to like write books and stuff, and that's when it's going to get to be too much.
As a producer, I can't lie that I'm a little scared. I don't
for sure.
Like I see potential in it to be this useful tool, but I also worry that people are going to start using it to just put people like me out of work.
I mean, honestly, they could replace us eventually too, because you can put faces on AI using certain AI programs and
the deep fakes. Those are scary.
So
you can never replace me.
They're coming for all of our jobs.
No one can replace you, Nick.
No one can ever replace me. You gotta have
try.
18. Good luck.
All right. Well,
Please
we are going to move
work.
on to our next story, which is kind of tying into this, but we did use AI to help us with some of these ideas. Our 2 daily poll questions this week were involving fall, because football season is starting. It's Labor Day weekend. We're getting ready. Football's kicking off. It's Labor Day weekend, so officially fall is going to kick off.
The second I felt
everyone.
that cool breeze in the air, I was ready.
Yes, but it's going to be hot this
Busting
weekend.
out the scarves.
We get one more hot weekend.
Yeah.
Well, maybe more, but
Told you they can't deal without me.
So our poll questions this week, one was, what is the greatest candle scent of all time? And then the other one was, when is it okay to start decorating your home for fall? So let's start with, when is it okay to start decorating your home for fall?
I think the fall equinox. I don't actually know when that is right now, but
I think it's late September.
But I feel like that's appropriate. Although, I don't know, maybe September 1st. Who knows?
Here,
Who cares? Who cares? Fall is a state of mind.
Say, okay, I'll, while she's doing that, I'll throw it down here. It's like anytime after Labor Day, there's no hard and fast rule when it comes to fall. Like, I think any time between basically end of August, and really it's Labor Day until like October. You could start to do fall, and I'd be like, yeah, that seems appropriate. All Halloween is basically fall plus scary stuff. Like throw a skeleton out, and you're like, all right, did my job, I'm gone.
It's spooky season. I'm ready.
Yeah,
I'm gonna steal a Home Depot
I don't know if you heard
12-foot
me,
skeleton.
but the fall equinox is September 23rd.
Yeah,
so.
so she was right. Yeah.
Yeah, usually that because I know it's usually around my birthday. My birthday is September 20th, so that's how I usually know it's like towards the end. But you know what? I just think to each their own. If you want to decorate your house now, we did have a few chilly days this week, so by all means, if you want to wait till after Labor Day, by all means.
Some people hate summer.
I honestly, which is insane. That's actually my best friend. She
Best
hates
season.
the heat. She loves fall, winter, spring, but she does not like summer. I'm like, you're insane.
Winter's the worst, actually.
It's the absolute
I have a winter birthday.
worst.
It's the worst.
Hate it. But yeah, so I think, why not? Do what you want to do.
Yeah, do what you want to do.
I might honestly decorate this weekend.
Now, are you going
Get
full
into
send?
I don't go too crazy with my decorations. I'm a minimalist.
Now,
so.
I'll ask a question here because we're going to try type these. Do you have like fall scented candles and spring scented candles, or are you like
Yes.
all
Yes.
year?
But I burn them year round. It doesn't
So
matter.
okay,
okay,
that's
yeah,
funny.
okay, that's what I
So
was
usually
gonna
I do lavender, spring and summer, and then once we get to fall, I'll buy more of like the fall scented, and then when we get to Christmas, I'll get a little bit more of like the Christmassy candles. But then I go right back to lavender as soon as
Once
winter's
a
over.
year, I make the trip down to the Niederman family farms, which is closer to where I grew up, like a little bit out of the way here.
Okay.
But they do a 3-scent candle that when you burn through it, like I think the first is like a pumpkin-y scent, and then a gingerbread kind of scent, and then a something else. But it is... I don't usually go in for like the really like heavy, like cinnamony, allspice kind of candles, but it is the best candle scent. I buy it once a year and I burn it all year round, and then I buy another one the next year.
That's smart.
It's the best. And plus it's like kind of local. So I
Yeah,
like that.
I'm so cheap because I just get get candles at like Kroger or Target if I'm there. I'll just be like, oh, that's a cute candle. And
I
just
get
stop
a lot of
by.
candles as gifts. which
Yeah, I
love.
need to start going to like White Barn. They just had apparently a big sale. Or I'm like starting to want to lean into more of like non-toxic candles, and I don't even know where to start with that. So
I don't know. But have you burned the wood wick ones that they sound like crackling
yes,
fire?
I love those. Love those. I also have a oil diffuser that I use a lot with lavender essential oil. Love that.
That's
Works
perfect.
great.
That's beautiful.
I have a candle, and
A candle. You have like a tea
Stereotypical
candle.
single man bachelor.
I
yes.
have a candle.
A candle. The rest of his house smells like socks and,
No.
and dog.
Dog, mostly dog.
Socks and dog.
Thanks. I do have. I do have one
That
glade
really killed me.
in my
I'm sorry.
bedroom.
All right, we are gonna wrap it up because we are coming up on time. But let's go through our love, hate, and final thoughts real fast.
My love is that I'm going to Lake Erie this weekend. The last hot weekend. I'm going up to the lake house. I'm with all my friends. I'm super excited. My hate of the week, I can't really think of one other than that.
Yeah, it's been a pretty normal week. I feel.
Oh,
like.
I'm gonna say I went and visited my husband out in Los Angeles, and then I had to come back, and that
You
was
hated
the bummer.
leaving him
I hated
again.
leaving. Yeah.
Yes, but
And-
you'll see him again soon.
Yeah. Yep. Nick.
I love my dog. I hate that she makes it smell like socks in my place.
Yeah.
That is all.
Or wet
There
dog.
you go. Short, sweet.
Fair
to the
enough.
point.
My love is I actually don't know what my love is this week.
Start with your hate. Worst to best.
Oh, I love that we're gonna get off a little early today, which is why
Heck
we're on
yeah.
our podcast a little bit early
if you
today.
noticed. Yeah.
Because we're going into the holiday weekend. My hate is I have to drive to Cleveland Saturday. It's in support of one of my husband's clients. She's doing a powerlifting competition.
That's
We're
cool.
driving to Cleveland that morning and coming back that afternoon. So
That's
it's going to be a
awful.
long day.
Is that Saturday or Sunday?
Sunday.
Yeah.
And
I
then
did
I have to be back here bright and early Monday morning.
And
I
have
did a
to deal with me.
24-hour turnaround to Chicago once where it was 5 hours there. We spent one night and came back early the next
Awful.
morning.
Yeah, we're not even going to spend the night. No, not fun.
That sounds even worse.
yeah,
actually.
it's going to be
I'm
bad.
so
It's going to
sorry.
be bad. I'm going to sleep on the drive there and back.
So if I
Just
don't see
'cause
you Monday,
This is my husband's fault. We're going. So yeah, if I call off sick, well, I can't because Nathan's off. Nathan's off. He's taking the
Nathan,
holiday.
Why are you ruining this for her?
That's all right. All right. Final thoughts.
My final thoughts are AI is scary. That's it.
True that.
Remember what Labor Day is about. We fought for our workers' rights, and Labor Day celebrating the fact that, we could take a day off from work. So everybody do your best
And I
to
am.
celebrate it.
You're not, though.
Yeah. Alex and I will be
You're not,
taking the one for the
We'll be
team.
celebrating here with everyone who is watching.
There you go.
Oh,
Rock
beautiful.
My final thought would be AI is scary, bees are scary, and I hope everyone enjoys their long weekend if you have it.
Take the long weekend. Yeah.
All right. And thank you for listening to Your Day Extra. This is, again, a Dayton 24/7 Now podcast. Make sure you like our Your Day social media accounts and subscribe to this podcast. Again, I'm Alex King. This is